Hello everyone, this is a science unit for first grade on the ocean, but could easily be adapted to any elementary class. In this unit, students will be exploring an ocean ecosystem. They will be doing some teacher-led internet research as well as reading books and describing the parts of the ocean and the plants and animals that live there. They will be able to construct an ocean food chain and know that all life is dependent on living as well as non-living things. This covers State Curriculum Standards 1, Science as Inquiry. All students will be involved in activities that will develop skills necessary to do scientific inquiries. Standard 3, Life Science. All students will develop an understanding of the characteristics of biological concepts. And Standard 5, Technology. All students will use technology to learn about the world around them. And the NETS standards for students. Standard 1, Creativity and Innovation. Students demonstrate creative thinking, construct knowledge, and develop innovative products and processes using technology. And Standard 3, Research and Information Fluency. Students apply digital tools to gather, evaluate, and use information. The instructional objectives. The student will be able to list what living things need for survival with a 100% accuracy. The student will be able to construct an ocean food chain tracing back to the sun. The students will list the two kinds of energy the sun provides. And finally, the student will be able to label shore, tide pool, continental shelf, continental slope, deep ocean, underwater mountain, island, trench, and hot water vent on an ocean diagram. For teacher preparation, several copies will be needed. The main one will be an ocean diagram on a 9 by 17 inch paper folded lengthwise. The ocean diagram will be on the top flap, and underneath will be lines for writing. We'll also need a test and labels for the ocean diagram, and also pictures for constructing their food chain. Second of all, I like to find a couple of the websites ahead of time just so I'm prepared and I don't have a lot of lag time, but then I also think it's good for the kids to help with the search and to watch that. Third, we'll need to make arrangements with the technology teacher to extend this science lesson with individual research in the computer lab time. Adaptations for special learners will be mainly during their time of making these special reports, and also in the creativity they add to all of their projects. This would go for the gifted or higher students, and also with the below level students. They will add their own special touches. They will receive assistance as needed throughout all of the assignments. Assessment and evaluation. Out of 7 choices, students will circle 3 things that are needed for life. Students will fill in blanks indicating the kinds of energy that the sun provides. From a choice of around 20 pictures, students will cut out and glue onto a separate paper 3 to 4 pictures to construct an ocean food chain. And finally, the students will label their ocean diagram with the parts of the ocean. There will be 10 student activities in all, not including the individual research to be done in the computer lab. Day 1, we'll go ahead and read a book called The Magic School Bus on the Ocean Floor. It gives a lot of great information, and this will also be the basis of what we do the rest of our research on. Day 2, students will color their ocean diagram, showing their knowledge of the areas where sun does not reach by gradually making the water darker and the plant and animal life less abundant in the area where there is no sunlight. Day 3, students will cut the folded diagram on the dotted lines, as it'll be just on the top half, to separate areas of shore and tide pool, deep ocean, underwater mountain, and hot water vent. Day 4, we will put up an ocean site on the smartboard so students can participate in the research, and we will investigate tide pools. We may also read a book called High Tide, Low Tide. Out of the 6 tables in the room, I will give 3 of the tables a question to answer to create a sentence about tide pools. We'll put these sentences up on the smartboard, and then the students will lift their first flap under the tide pool and write these sentences. The questions they will answer are: where are tide pools located? What lives in a tide pool, and what causes the tides? Day 5 will continue in the same manner, and we will investigate the deep ocean. This time the other 3 tables will create sentences which the other students will read and copy under the second flap. The questions they will answer is: why is the deep ocean cold and dark? What kind of creatures live there, and how do they find food? Day 6, we will investigate underwater mountains. The 3 questions that they will answer will be: what causes an underwater mountain? How big are they? And what is the top of the mountain called? Day 7 will be our last day to research, and we will research hot water vent. Questions that students will answer are: what is a hot water vent? Can animals live in the super hot water? And how do they find the food they need to survive? On day 8, the students will receive labels that they'll cut off one at a time and place in the appropriate place on their ocean diagram. The teacher will check each of the students' placement of these labels, correct if necessary, and then give the go-ahead for students to glue in place. Day 9 will be the final assessment, and that will be the test that was already copied at the beginning. And day 10 is kind of a celebration, and the students will watch the DVD Under the Sea, IMAX. During this time, this will give the teacher time to work with individual students as needed. And this concludes the ocean unit for first grade.